values issue. The problem of Nigeria is a problem of values, not the problem of legalism. But everything has now been reduced to legalism. So they say that in Chicago they were told that you are free to go and print your certificate anywhere. Like if you are in Abuja, you can go to a attentive a printer and they can print your certificate for you. And that, they say it is not an offense in America, but you know what? In Nigeria, that is an offense. Carrying a certificate that was not made by the maker, by the making authority, is an offense in Nigeria. So if you submitted to INEC a certificate that was not given to you by Chicago State University, that is an offense. May not be an offense in America, but it's an offense in Nigeria.
All right.
That is one.
Okay.
Number two, the BBC that you're talking about. I don't know what the deal is about this BBC with relation to the subject matter. If you remember very well, during the campaign period, during the election cycle, the man who sits in Aso Rock now evaded every opportunity to sit down with Nigerian journalists. The only outfit that he actually sat down with one-on-one was BBC, as interviewed by Peter Okoche. And you see how choreographed, how tightly edited the program was. So there is this kind of incestuous relationship between BBC and the man in Aso Rock now. So that, whatever it is that BBC did, has no credibility. It has no credibility at all. That's what I'm going to say.
Some people are concerned as to why the BBC would come out to say this. I mean, not much details were given as to whether the BBC had visited the school or it had asked questions and all of that. But the major fundamental thing for people is what would be the interest and why would the BBC? Because the BBC didn't come out to fact check that of former President Muhammadu Buhari, who also had certain certificate issues and all of those. The BBC did not come out to state any of these. So there's those questions are, when people ask those questions, are they valid?
No. The thing is this. We are all Nigerians and we understand this game. The gentleman that interviewed him in that only interview that he did, well choreographed and tightly edited interview on BBC to make him look good, is a Nigerian. He has a brother that works for Tinubu's television station. So you can already see that connection.
Tinubu has a station? The president has a station?
Of course he has a station. He has a TV station in Lagos called TVC. Check it on DSTV or GoTV, whatever.
Okay.
He has a brother working. That journalist has a sibling, a brother working as a journalist for Tinubu. So all these things are just, it's a game. It's a game that the bigger BBC may not understand. But this Nigerian connection is behaving in a way that will end up embarrassing BBC as an institution.
Okay. What are the concerns that the team of the president and the Labour Party has with regards to the certificate? What is the argument? Because I looked at, I've gone through quite a lot of reports and the documents presented and the court sessions and all that was said. The registrar indeed admitted that the president attended the school. So what then is the argument now? They admitted that, well, he was a student of their school. So where is the position of the Labour Party and the ObiDatti campaign council team?
No, it is former Vice President Atiku that went to court in America. It isn't so much the problem of Labour Party or ObiDatti, but it's just something that we should be concerned about as Nigerians. Now, there are at least two issues that you need to resolve. If you went to a school and you finished and then you lost your certificate, couldn't you have approached them for a certificate? You said you went to print the certificate yourself, which is to say the certificate that you submitted to INEC in Nigeria was not the one that you obtained from that institution. That just means that that's not acceptable under our own law here. The certificate that is recognized under our own Nigerian system is the one that you collected from whoever you graduated from. So if they say in America anybody can print certificates, in Nigeria anybody can't print certificates.
No, so even in America, I need to clarify that. Even in America, sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Olanifade. Even in America, to print a certificate does not mean that it will not be signed, because we have some of these people who work for those institutions across the cities, various cities in different parts of the U.S. So the idea is they have certain sort of licenses to print certificates from that school, but it also has to be signed and carries the mark of the institution. It doesn't just mean anybody would design a certificate and put like the university's name there and then print out and give to people. There are certain processes of verification that also needs to be followed before you can.
You are making that case.
No, that's I have to go through it. I'm just saying that is what is the standard is. I'm just stating that.
According to you, you are the one making.
So the listener doesn't feel anybody goes anywhere in the US and prints a certificate. That's not how it works.
Well,
but
what we were made to believe by the deposition in court is that you can just go and print. We don't care about the diploma. Okay. Now, that's by the disposition. By your own insider's knowledge, it may be different. So that is that. Secondly, the process by which he obtained that admission, yes, he was there, he graduated. The process by which he obtained the admission is also questionable. You presented a result from Government College Lagos that you obtained, so-called, in 1970. Government College Lagos was not established until 1974. So the foundation of that degree program was faulty, and you can't do something on nothing.
Is it possible that's a typo error or something? Can we rule out that possibility?
We are not examining whether it was a typographical error, because nobody said it was a typographical error in that court. So, this is the situation. And then you have another result that has the name, they say, female. And they say, okay, that was a typographical error. And that same result that they say is a typographical error also has somebody's social security number who is female. So it's
So now for the ObiDatti team and the Labour Party, you are not, because the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar had asked that the Labour Party and its presidential candidate, as well as that of the NNPP and the others, come and work with him and, support him in this certificate saga thing. And from the comments made by the Labour Party presidential candidate yesterday, it seems as though no step will be taken in that direction. Is that what it is? You are not going to consider this during the appeal at the Supreme Court?
Well, the issue in court is a legal matter. And, we are not competent to discuss what is already before the justices and at the Supreme Court. So that. But as per whether we are working with Atiku, whatever, what is going on? Person that stood up to speak for us at the United Nations, and then he has certificate scandal, drug scandal, all kinds of things. Every Nigerian should be concerned. So you don't have to wait for Atiku to invite you before you are concerned.
All right, well said. We have a very short commercial coming in a matter of moments, just about less than a minute. We'll take a commercial and then we will continue with the conversation. There's still more to ask, especially we would like you to tell us what ideally you think the presidency should be doing about this, because for some people, a statement officially from the president or the presidency would address this, and that was the call that was made by Mr. Peter Gregory Obi, where he said, well, come and clarify the issue about your identity, referring to the president. Some people think, well, that's not something he should be doing. But when we return, we'll get your opinion on it. Just stay on the line for us. 92.3 Nigeria Info. We're still here at past 8 and the morning crossfire continues. My name is Ifeemi Andrew. We are discussing the President's CSU certificate saga, Labour Party's presidential candidates press conference yesterday, and the BBC's fact-checking team saying there is no evidence to prove that the document of President Bola Tinubu presented to INEC was forged, and this has caused the conversation, especially when you look at the court session and what the registrar of the university had said, not being able to authentically state, in fact stating that they cannot verify that the document that was presented to INEC was issued by the institution, and many other issues that has brought up a very serious conversation. Some people feel, one of those persons, Peter Obi of the Labour Party, felt that the direct way to handle this would be for the president to come out and give a statement addressing the issue, or the presidency to, address the issue effectively. Mostly we've had the APC say things about this. Many still say we would prefer to hear from the president. Some other people feel there's nothing here to talk about. The school admitted that he attended the institution, and that is what matters. Some have even likened it to the case of Emesoma who took jam. There's just a lot of opinions back and forth around this. I'm going to get back to my guest. I was on the line, Mr. Diran Olanifade, the head of media, ObiDatti Campaign Council. But before we do that, let me quickly just take some of the messages you have here for us on WhatsApp, and perhaps my guest to respond to any questions that emerge from this. This one says, your guest is talking based on sentiments. The Chicago State University have clarified to the world that Tinubu Tinubu attended the institution. I think this case is in the Supreme Court. Let's wait for the court. I would advise your guests and the ObiDatti group to join the president and move the country forward. Great Sylvester sent that one in. What findings would BBC that is in England, Europe make that would be more factual or real than the court in America where the Chicago University is situated? And who authorized the BBC to investigate a matter already decided by an American court and disposition made by the registrar of the institution? Victor from Egbema. Remember, the registrar did not say that certificate is fake or not. He only said that the university cannot confirm that it issued that particular one that was given to INEC. That's the one that's in contention. Cannot confirm if that one came from them. Morning. This one says, what does the BBC mean by there is no evidence when the school has dissociated itself from the certificate Tinubu presented to Nigerians and the world, saying it is not from the school? Is that not enough to say that it was forged, since the school did not issue it to the president? The comments made by the BBC is an opinion, and so I believe it does not hold any water. Therefore, the court cannot rely on that comment. Hector sent that one in. And we could go on and on. We're live on Facebook too, so join in on the conversation at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Let me get back to my guests now. Mr. Diran, I'm sure you heard some of the messages. Before we take the calls, we need your response to this. Before the break, I was asking, from your perspective, a member of the ObiDatti Campaign Council, we listened to His Excellency Peter Gregory Obi speak yesterday at this press conference, where he called for the president to come out and address this issue. Do you think that is necessary?
That what is necessary?
For the president to come out and address, perhaps have a press conference himself and address the issues?
Of course. I mean, it is the simplest thing on all these counts. If I say you are not yourself, it's for you to say, I am me. When you mispronounce my last name, I corrected it in person. It's my responsibility to portray myself to the world the way that I am. Not paying PR specialists, lawyers, all kinds of people to say what a simple statement from me and just say, look, yesterday they came up and said, Atiku wrote an exam based on the name Sadiq and things like that. And he said, yes, I do. And this was why. That settles it. So why can't this man just come out and say this is me, this is where I was born, these are the circumstances that led to all these controversies that you're talking about. Look, I happen to come from Osun State, a local government that is contiguous to the local government that is where the place that is said to be the original hometown of the man now in Aso Rock. And I know what goes on locally around that place. There are local testimony. Why can't this man just come out and then see this was the situation and explain it? Anybody, there is nothing wrong in your past. Bill Clinton in Bill Clinton's name was not his biological father's name. He explained it to the world, put it in his biography, and that's it. There's nothing to be ashamed of in your past, unless there was something shameful in your past. And that we are talking and talking as much as we are doing in this case just means there is something shameful in that. And this is what should be of concern to Nigerians. Why should we now have representing us in the United Nations being the representative of the sovereign of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, somebody whose past we cannot even vouch for, that we cannot even know, someone with a dodgy past? This is the situation.
Let's open the phone lines and get a response from the listener. There's also a few messages that we would be taking on Facebook as well. The numbers to call are 0817 923 0007, 0817 923 0007. You heard what the BBC has said. It is facts checking. Does that mean anything to you? Are you concerned? Does it bother you? Does it hold the water? Does it mean anything? Do you think it that comment from the BBC can, for those who think that the president really needs to answer, do you think what the BBC has said puts this matter to rest? Let's get your thoughts about it. If you have also concerns, like my guest has shared his concern about the BBC's position on this, would like to hear it. On Facebook, What Champion says, that's why we French-speaking people don't waste time in banning TV propaganda channels and radio stations once we discover that they are fueling and fomenting tension in the society. RFI and France 24 are no longer operating in Mali, Burkina Faso, and in Niger. Once the Côte d'Ivoire president was ousted, these French audiovisual channels will immediately cease to function in Côte d'Ivoire as well. He says, I can't say that, but then he just expresses this pleasure with the BBC. He says, I don't think the fact-checking job of the BBC is really ideal, and moreover, BBC has no right to interfere into Nigeria's internal affairs. Which brought me to a question I think my guest also responded to. Was similar thing done by the BBC for former President Buhari, who also had a certificate issue of one way or the other? Because some people said the universities in the US, now, get it right, the BBC, if it has a fact-checking unit that does this job, it is not limited to a state, a country. It could decide to pick. It's like you're doing investigative journalism. You could do anything. You could go anywhere and do anything. So you would say that they are doing their job as what they should do as a media organization, which would be very understandable, despite the questions that people might raise out of it. Robin in a chair, good morning.
Good morning, my brother and Andrew.
Go ahead.
I'm greeting to our guest. You see, Andrew, this certificate scandal of the president, will continue to discuss it back and forth, even after the Supreme Court will make their announcement. Nigerian profile is increasing every day in all fronts. Is it not surprising, or are we forgetting so soon, that when Atiku launched this matter in the U.S. court, the president team of lawyers did all they could to ensure that the school did not release those documents sought? Have you forgotten? Why will I ask somebody not to go to Uniport where I graduated? And I will go to court to tell the university that I graduated, I have deposed documents. Don't release my documents. Is that not telling us something? Are we children? It's unfortunate. And I keep shouting that we are a conquered people. This country, Nigeria, has been conquered by few elites that have positioned themselves in various strategic positions. Because they know that Nigerians generally are hungry and will continue to be hungry and talk and talk and talk. A day will come that nature will speak for us.
All right, Robin.
Back and forth.
Let's go to Chris.
Hold on. Like your guest was reminding us, let me echo it. 3 people were caught in robbery incident in Aba. There are 4 in number, 3 were caught, and the 3 were arrested. They keep telling the judge, we are 4. Why is police charging only 3 from 4 to court? Is that an issue? That article has this name, is that? Is that what I'm talking about now? But let us wait, because Nigeria will have given our fortune, our prosperity to few persons in court to decide our future.
All right, let's go to Chris and Rumobiakani. Thank you, Chris. Chris, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Go on.
Yes, for me, this issue of certificate is neither here nor there. I think this all this noise really is necessary because, I mean, the case is in court and somebody is here talking, come out and say this and say that. Wait for the court. There's no, I mean, the school have said, yes, he was one of our students. And what else do you want to hear? And then the other one was telling us that the certificate is fake. But the school there said you can print your this name. This is an American certificate, not Nigerian certificate. So anyhow they do their thing. I mean, we shouldn't be seeing it as a Nigerian thing. If it is our own Nigerian certificate, you can say, okay, it's forged. But this one is American. Where you can
no, Chris, I think I need to correct that impression, Chris. Certificates in the US are also forged. Please know that, and don't buy into the idea that things from the US are not forged. Certificates in the US are also forged, and the school clearly explained principles or how it's possible for people to print their certificates from anywhere that they want to get it from in the US. If you remember, former President Goodluck Jonathan said he was a professor. People questioned it. He came out and explained, and people even came to the University of Port Harcourt to get that document and confirm that he's a professor, and everything was laid to rest. So certificates can be forged anywhere in the world, anywhere. I just need you to make you understand that.
Let's wait for the court to give their final judgment before we begin to... There is no sentiment in all of this.
All right, Chris, thank you very much.
Because of what we are saying, then pass judgment to all this.
Thank you. Muriel in Okrika, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
It's your Petahuna from Okrika there. Look, firstly, I want to find out the issues with that the Labour Party has. I really want to understand it with the certificate issue. Is it the fact that is it now no longer the gender issue, or is it the fact that the president submitted a transcript? Because yes, they can print their transcript anywhere. Is it the fact that he submitted a transcript to the INEC rather than the original certificate? So what is the issue right now? And when you get just to this article specifically, for me it is not like you say that settle it. No, it does not settle it for me, because an exam as important and as sensitive as the SSC article now decided to change its name because maybe he fancied the name Sadiq, and he now went to swear an affidavit. No, we all know that in Nigeria, when you swear, you want to swear an affidavit, there are no proper verifications done. They just give you the affidavit and you go ahead with it. So it does not settle it for me as feeling. But now, when the ObiDatti team is calling on the president to come out and clarify the air to do this, I think they are not right. Look, very intelligent man, and he knows what he's doing, and I love him for that. Look, you cannot say a case that is in the court, then the accused should come out and clarify the air. Would that not be him shooting himself in the foot? Or would that be saying Atiku the president? No, maybe the president. Maybe passing judgment on himself. Wait for the court to pass judgment before you come out and maybe just clarify based on the judgment that the Supreme Court has passed. Would you not be shooting yourself in the foot? So I want to ask the guest, is it right for a case that is in court, then the accused come out and clarify the head.
All right, Miriam, thank you very much. Let's go to Israel. Israel is in Auda West. I'm sure my guest heard and would respond. Okay, Blessed in Alu, good morning. Hello, Blessed.
Good morning, my sister Femi, my brother Femi Andrew.
Go ahead.
Pertaining this BBC pronouncement over the issue certificate of President Tinubu. My brother, the country is our own. Nigeria belongs to us. We should do the needful to put it in order. This certificate of it, I don't know whether it has come to our every president business during the Jonathan issue. The Jonathan regime, they brought the certificate issue during Mama Buhari, also a certificate issue. Now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, let me tell you one thing. Without uniting ourselves, we are not going to anywhere. Anyhow it is, see some certain that is happening in other country, we are not paying for the crisis to happen in Nigeria. I'm appealing to whoever may concern, somebody like a Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, that they should get Bola Ahmed Tinubu, forget about that certificate or not certificate. If you go to school, the answer is no. You go to school. So far you go to school and tender the DC, no matter how tomorrow we speak, Nigeria belongs to us. Many people have got out of the country. What we need to fight for the Nigeria to be stable, to be okay, all the sectors will be functioning, so that it will be good thing for you and I to stay in the
Blessed.
country.
Thank you very much. Let's go to John in Rumokrishi. John, good morning.
Good morning. I want to speak about the matter. You see, your guest said Mr. President should come out and clarify. And I want to say here this morning that a mind that is made up for people that have made up their mind that the president forges certificates, there is nothing the president will say now that will change that thought. So let him allow the court to decide. This case is in court. I don't know why they are disturbing their life. You have all your evidence. Take it to the Supreme Court and let the court decide. And we should not be making a mountain out of a molehill. When the school in question has said, this person has attended school, but as for the certificate, he can print it from anywhere where it's missing. So they have third parties that you can get this certificate from. School have said that. So if you do think that it is forged, wait for the Supreme Court to decide, not to be giving us a made thought about this issue.
All right, John, thank you very much. Chima in GRA, good morning.
Good morning, Andrew.
Welcome.
Yes, Andrew, I think this clarification by Mr. President has become imperative because over the time, right from Ghanaian Farini, this forgery have lingered. So I think the call by the Labour Party is in order. You understand? Look, the age, as you are here now, Andrew, can you tell us the age of the president? Can you tell us? No. We heard that president's daughter is 60 years and president is 71 years. How will you be able to marry these together? So several issues that is unclarified about our president. Now people talk about he come and make the clarification. Why his media is everywhere? His media is everywhere making the clarification. Then when they say the principal to come out to clear to the people, let him reintroduce himself, who he is, because everything about him seems to be 45. The age is 45. The certificate is 45. Everything. You understand? So that clarification is imperative. The call is in order. Thank you.
All right, Chima, thank you very much. Like I said, the fact we're going to have diverse opinions on this, and we'll be wrapping up shortly. I'll get my guest to respond after I take this call from Victor. Victor is calling from Aoda. Victor, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Shane.
All right, Victor, go ahead.
Concerning about this certification, see, as a citizen of Nigeria, I'm ashamed of our professors. What are the legacies that will keep our oncoming children that our president, number one citizen, forged the result? I don't understand. Where are our professors? Where are our educated men of this country? I'm ashamed to hear such things. Thank you very much.
All right, Victor, thank you very much. I'll take two messages and then go back to my guest. BBC should know they are a large brand, a part of this world held in high esteem. How come they want to tarnish their image that took them decades to build? They should be careful. Felix from Umu Koro sent that one in. This person says BBC should know. Okay, I think we already had that. This one says, is the BBC now a legal consult for the president of Nigeria? Mr. Good, that's a question. Some of the questions were asked, because I've also thought about it. And some of the guests, Mr. Olanifade, if you can hear me, some of the guests have said what they said, and rightly so for some of them, is if the matter is in court, should we be calling on the president to address the issue? At the same time, some other callers have also said, if the matter is in court, why are the president's aide addressing the issue? Why is the BBC writing what is writing now? Why not allow the Nigerian system and the courts handle it? But then it has become a public conversation that must be held. As we attempt to wrap up in 2 minutes, what will be your response to people who argue on both sides?
To what?
People who argue on both sides on whether it's necessary for the president to come out and clarify when the matter is in court, and for those who think that, well, he should come out and clarify if already his aides depart political party, and now the BBC is also saying that there are no evidences to show that this is forged, when the matter is in court and the court is supposed to be in the place to decide all of these.
Well, we need to reiterate that the BBC is not a witness of conscience in this matter. They have reasons to, and I've analyzed it to you earlier on. The only journalist that Tinubu sat down with during the election cycle, he dodged every journalist in Nigeria, declined all media invitations, but sat down with Peter Okoche of BBC. And you saw how contrived that story, that interview was. Peter Okoche has a brother working for TVC, Tinubu's TV station. So you can do the math. The BBC saying what they are doing, saying it is fact check. If you look at the team of the people who did the fact check, they are also Nigerians. So there is this incestuous relationship between President Tinubu and his outfit and the BBC. There's a Nigerian connection in BBC that is not too altruistic. That is that. As per, they say they call a certificate forgery or not. None of the people who spoke to you has also said that it was that the university, Chicago State University, owned up to issuing that certificate. They denied that particular certificate. They dissociated themselves from it. All that they're saying is that they can't vouch for it. But it doesn't matter in America to vote for certificate.
All right, Mr. Olanifade.
But in Nigeria, it matters that the issuing authority must vouch for their certificate.
All right.
So to present to a Nigerian entity a certificate,
we have to wrap it up here now. Thank you very much, Mr. Olanifade. But we have to wrap it up. Thank you for your time. Let's go for a commercial now. Good morning.
You are tuned in to
Nigeria Info. We'll be right back after this.